You know, the Scarlett audio interfaces are some of the most popular and versatile audio interfaces that you can buy for the money. I myself had the 4i4, and it was a great little box that I could use for many music projects, YouTube videos, and live streams. And I say used to because somewhere between the move and setting up the new space, I somehow misplaced it. So yeah, I was in the market for a new audio interface. I really wanted something portable, something that I could easily slip into my backpack if I was going to a friend's house or if I was on the road for a project. I wanted something affordable, even cheaper than the Scarlett 2i2, but I really didn't want to sacrifice too much on the feature set. Basically, I just wanted to find the best bang for your buck interface. And after searching around for quite some time, I may have found exactly what I was looking for. Let's get started. This is the EVO 4 by Audient. It's a 2-in, 2-out audio interface with a bit depth of 24 and a sample rate of 96 kHz. If you're not too sure what bit depth or sample rate is, don't worry about it. It's a pretty common spec amongst other audio interfaces in this price range today. But to oversimplify things, it basically means it records at a nice high resolution audio quality. If you need more inputs and outputs, there is the EVO 8, and that retails for about $200 US. However, for the EVO 4, which is what I have, you can find this on Amazon for roughly $130. If you'd like to compare these items yourself, I will leave affiliate links in the description down below. But yeah, for 130 bucks, this is probably one of the best priced, if not the best priced interface that you can get for the money. Out of the box, you get the interface, some documentation telling you how to use some of the EVO 4's features, more on that later, and a USB-C to USB-A cable. And although it's a USB-C cable, it actually only has transfer speeds of a standard USB 2 cable, so don't expect a USB 3 or Thunderbolt levels of speed here. Looking over the interface, it's a lot smaller than I expected. The build quality feels nice enough, although its all plastic build does worry me a bit on the wear and tear that this might receive over time. Now, I have tossed this in my backpack a couple of times already for using it on the go and using it at some friends' houses, and so far, nothing seems to be wrong with it. I barely even see any scratches or marks on it at all. However, given the all plastic build of the EVO, it does kind of pale in comparison to the ruggedness of the Scarlett. When we look at the back of the interface, we have two combo inputs for XLR and 1/4 inch, two 1/4 inch TRS outputs for your speakers, and the USB-C port for connecting to your computer. Now, this interface is bus powered, and all that means is that it draws its power from the computer that it's plugged into, so you don't have to plug this into an outlet or anything. Just plug it into your computer and you're good to go. On the front, you have an instrument input for the first channel for easy access, as well as a headphone jack that will mute the studio monitors when plugged in, which is kind of a nice feature when you're trying to A/B things quickly on speakers and headphones. Finally, on top of the box, we have the buttons for the two input selects, including phantom power options for each channel. We have a monitor mix button, which allows you to balance the mix of the input source and the main output. The button on the bottom right is for the output volume. And this big green button right here is for the EVO 4's probably biggest feature, Smartgain. This is primarily for beginners who want to get a gain stage quickly set up. It's not 100% perfect, but it is a great starting point and great if you aren't really familiar with setting up your gain stage properly. The instructions on how to use Smartgain is on the documentation that I mentioned earlier. To start, simply press the green Smartgain button. The two input buttons will now pulse to indicate that you are now in Smartgain mode. Now select the input that you wish to use. Press the Smartgain button again and it will flash red, and the LEDs around the control knob will start pulsing to show you that it is listening. Do a mic test of what you will be recording, and the EVO 4 will set the ideal levels to ensure that your recording isn't too loud or too quiet. Now, when doing this, I personally recommend that whether you're talking or whether you're playing an instrument, however you're doing your mic test, I recommend that you perform at a slightly louder than usual level or play at your maximum peak during like a song or something, because when you do that, it sets it at sort of like the optimal gain stage level, so that way it prevents you from clipping if you all of a sudden got really loud during the podcast, or like if you happen to sing a lyric with extra intensity, you prevent yourself from clipping, and it's just kind of setting you at that right appropriate spot where it's not too quiet, not too loud, and it gives you a lot of room to really work with. All right, so now I'm gonna hook this thing up to a microphone and we can see in action how well this Smartgain actually worked. All right, so we have the microphone all set up to the computer. I have the interface plugged in, set up, ready to go. I enabled Smartgain. That is how we kind of achieved the gain stage for this microphone. No post-processing has been added, no compression, EQ, nothing like that has been added to this audio source. The only thing I will be doing is probably increasing the gain a little bit, just so that it's balanced with the rest of the audio throughout the video. If you hear any room noise or anything like that, that's what that is. It's room noise. It's not noise coming from the microphone. It's not noise coming from the interface preamps. This is just kind of an improper setup in my house right now. So yeah, the microphone I'm using is a Sterling Audio ST51. It's just a cheap condenser microphone, not a very good microphone, but it does what I need it to do, and it's good enough for the situation right now to do this test. So the Smartgain feature, again, it was very easy to set up, very easy to follow the steps, and again, I do want to stress that, one, I definitely recommend that you take the time to learn how to do proper gain stage yourself if this is something that you look to do sort of long term, whether it's for podcasting, recording, anything like that. Just having the knowledge on how to properly gain stage your microphone and just your overall levels, that will really help you kind of fine tune and get better control on the situation, what you want to record. As far as how Smartgain works overall, I think it does a pretty good job, and it does a good job at least of kind of getting you a healthy starting point as how you want your levels set. Again, whether you're setting the gain stage yourself or if you're using the Smartgain feature, just make sure to try and record like the most intense part of the song, or try to record yourself talking at a little higher volume than you might normally do. But yeah, this is what it sounds like. The preamps on this audio interface sound pretty darn good in my opinion. Audient makes pretty good preamps, and yeah, the Smartgain feature does a really good job. If you are a total novice with using audio recording equipment, this is a great way to kind of get your feet wet and get you started with using this recording equipment. One of the other advertised features for the EVO audio interfaces is the software. There are two separate controllers for the EVO application, where it grants you all the controls that you could have on the physical interface itself, as well as the ability to directly mute the channels, which I really wish you could do on the box itself. It also has a loopback feature, which allows you to record your computer audio alongside your microphones in your software of choice. This sort of thing could be really useful if you're doing something like a podcast where you have a guest on like Discord or Skype, or maybe if you're doing like a live stream or Let's Play and you set up a mix of your computer's audio as well as your microphone while still wanting to use the EVO 4 to listen to everything in headphones. I'll leave a link in the description below to some other videos and tutorials that kind of explain these features in more depth. As for me personally, I won't really see myself using these controllers that much, both for the main controller and for the loopback. One of those reasons being I really like touching the buttons themselves. I really like being able to physically turn the knob, and in fact, it's one of the main attractions for me personally to this interface. I really like having the big knob. It's really nice to just quickly adjust the gain on my microphone real quick, or to just quickly turn up or turn down the volume whenever I need to. I do think having the loopback feature is excellent, and it is kind of more on a case-by-case basis with that feature. However, my biggest complaint with the EVO software is that it's really quite laggy. And although having those controllers digitally on your computer directly is a great convenience, it kind of almost ruins the whole point when it's really laggy and sometimes not immediately responsive. Now, it's very possible that it was just from my personal experience and other people may not have had problems. And yes, my PC is not the biggest spec system out there, but it absolutely has more than enough to handle anything that I would need as far as audio recording is concerned. So yeah, I don't know, I've seen videos where people have no problem using it, but that was just my experience, so buyer beware, I suppose. When I was looking for a replacement interface, I was looking for the cheapest yet highest quality interface that I could find that wasn't too limited on features, and it allowed me for use on the go. Audient EVO preamps sound great in this bang for your buck interface, and with the exception of the laggy software experience, everything else works completely as advertised, and I intend on keeping the EVO 4 around for quite a while. Well, that about does it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again, as always, for watching the video and checking out the channel. If you like this video and you like this type of content, be sure to hit that like button, as it is one of the best ways that you can help a small channel like us get seen through the YouTube algorithm. And if there was anything about this interface that I neglected to mention, or anything that you have questions on, or your own personal input to give, let us know down in the comments below. I'll try to answer as many questions as I can as quick as possible. If you want to stay up to date on all new content that we are making, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell icon. Currently, we upload videos every Monday and do a weekly news roundup video on Saturdays, as well as live stream every Wednesday night, usually around 8:30 or 9 o'clock Central Time. You can also follow us on our social media sites like Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. But yeah, seriously, that's enough rambling out of me. Thank you again, everyone, so much for watching. My name is Blake, and for all things tech, games, movies, and everything nerdy in between, be sure to subscribe to Digital Cynics. Have a good one, everyone. We'll see you next time.